Right, so we're diving into men's March Madness today. You're clearly a fan, want to know what's up. Let's get you all caught up quickly.
Yeah, March Madness, right. It's the NCAA men's basketball tournament. 68 teams, single elimination, all battling it out for that national championship. Upsets, buzzer beaters, the whole thing.
Totally. We're going to look back at last year real quick, then ahead to all the teams and storylines that are going to be huge this year.
Yeah.
And of course, give you some ideas for filling out those brackets.
Can't forget the brackets.
Absolutely not. So, 2024, UConn takes on the title.
And they did it in style. 3 championships in a row. Like, that's a dynasty. Haven't seen that since UCLA back in the 70s. Really impressive stuff.
Definitely. And it wasn't even close in the final. A 15-point win over Purdue shows how dominant they were the whole tournament.
Yeah, they were just on another level, it seemed like.
For sure. So, with that kind of performance in mind, what are we looking at for 2025? What are you hearing?
Well, some teams are already getting a lot of attention. Duke, they've got that freshman phenom. Cooper Flagg, even with his injury, they're still considered a top contender.
Yeah, Duke's always in the mix, it feels like. What about Auburn? They have the #1 seed this year.
Right, but they kind of stumbled towards the end of the season, lost 3 out of their last 4, so got to wonder if that's going to affect them. Going into the tournament like that, a little shaky.
Big question mark for sure. Then there's Florida. They just won the SEC tournament. Seems like they're hitting their stride at the perfect time.
That's always dangerous, right? A team with all that momentum coming into March Madness. Doesn't matter what seed they are. They're feeling good.
Makes for some exciting games. And speaking of excitement, what about those bracket-busting upsets? Everyone loves a Cinderella story. Any teams we should be watching out for?
Oh, absolutely. Yale, for one. They upset Auburn last year. Could do it again this year against Texas A&M. And watch out for McNeese State. They're a 12 seed going up against Clemson, but they can really score. Could be a tough out.
Love it. So let's give our listeners some advice for their brackets. What's the first rule?
Don't be afraid to pick upsets. It happens every year, double-digit seeds going deep. It's March.
It's what makes it fun, right?
Exactly. Embrace the chaos.
All right, next tip.
Look closely at the matchups. Think about playing styles. Is there a team with a stifling defense going up against a high-scoring offense? Those kind of things matter.
More than just the names and the seeds.
For sure.
And listen, stats are important, but sometimes you got to go with your gut. March Madness is wild. Things happen that you just can't predict.
There's some magic to it, you know?
Definitely. All right, last piece of advice. What's the one thing people should avoid doing when they're filling out their brackets?
Don't just pick all the top seeds to go all the way. Almost never happens. You got to mix it up a little.
Exactly. Embrace the upsets.
Yep, it's all part of the fun.
Okay, real quick, how can everyone watch all the action?
The first 4 games, that's March 18th and 19th. Then the first round starts right after, March 20th and 21st. You can catch the games on CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV.
And you can stream them live on the NCAA March Madness Live app.
Gotta have options right.
Absolutely. So, what are the experts saying? Who's going to win it all?
Well, Jay Bilas, he's picking Duke. But Gary Parrish over at CBS Sports, he likes Auburn. So even the experts are split.
Makes sense. It's wide open this year. What about the betting odds?
Yeah, so Florida's the slight favorite right now. They're at plus 350. Duke's close behind at plus 360. And then Auburn's at plus 400.
Wow, that's really tight. Shows you just how unpredictable it is.
Couldn't agree more.
So what about the Final Four? Any early predictions?
People are talking about Duke, Florida, Houston, and Tennessee. A good mix of established programs and some potential surprises.
Sounds about right for March Madness.
But hey, who knows, right? That's what makes it so exciting.
Okay, so that's our deep dive into men's March Madness. You're all set with everything you need to know about last year, the key teams and potential upsets for this year, and some solid bracket strategy.
So think about it. With all these experts and the odds makers so unsure, what's that one X factor that might decide who wins it all? Maybe a player gets hot, maybe a coach pulls out some crazy strategy, maybe it's just a lucky bounce of the ball. Whatever it is, keep your eyes peeled because things are about to get wild.
And that's March Madness.